Let's go Falcons! Before we dive into today's packed update, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything, and it helps ensure you're always in the loop with the latest Atlanta Falcons news and insights. Now, let's jump right into it, because there's a lot to unpack. The Falcons delivered a mixed bag of updates on the injury front this week. Let's start with some good news. Wide receiver Darnell Mooney made significant progress in practice. After being limited with a foot injury during Thursday's session, Mooney returned as a full participant on Friday. That's a promising sign for Atlanta's offense heading into a crucial Monday Night Football matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Mooney's ability to stretch the field and create opportunities could be key for a team fighting to keep its playoff hopes alive. But it's not all good news. Inside linebacker Troy Anderson, who has struggled with a lingering knee issue throughout the season, did not participate in practice for the second consecutive day. Anderson's absence leaves a noticeable gap in the defense, particularly in a must-win game like this one. The Raiders boast a strong running game and a physical offensive line, meaning the Falcons' linebacker depth will be tested if Anderson can't go. This Monday night clash isn't just another game, it's a pivotal moment for the Falcons. With a 4-game losing streak, Atlanta's playoff hopes are hanging by a thread. The team is still technically alive in the NFC South race, but every game from here on out is a must-win. Facing the Raiders, a team also fighting to stay relevant, won't be easy. The Falcons will need to bring their A-game on both sides of the ball to pull off a victory. Now, shifting gears slightly, let's talk about the bigger picture. With the Falcons currently projected to land the number 15 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, some fans might already be looking ahead. This would mark the first time since 2020 that Atlanta picks outside the top 10, a sign of modest progress but also a reminder of missed opportunities this season. Unlike in recent years, quarterback won't be a hot debate topic. Michael Penix Jr., the highly touted rookie, is waiting in the wings, allowing the Falcons to focus on upgrading their defense through the draft. In fact, early mock drafts are already buzzing. One of the most exciting prospects linked to Atlanta is Michael Williams, an edge rusher from Georgia. Williams has been a force at the college level, racking up 56 quarterback hurries and 17 sacks over 3 seasons. Adding him to the defensive front could give the Falcons the pass-rushing boost they've desperately needed. The draft chatter doesn't stop there. In the second round, Texas cornerback Jahdae Barron is a name to watch. Known for his elite coverage skills and playmaking ability, Barron could complement the Falcons' existing secondary and bring a new level of versatility. And let's not forget about the defensive line. Miami's Simeon Barrow Jr. is an intriguing Day 3 prospect who could add depth and flexibility up front. All this talk about the future is exciting, but let's not lose sight of the present. The Falcons still have 4 games left to prove they belong in the playoff conversation. With games against the Raiders, Giants, Commanders, and Panthers, the schedule is manageable, but nothing is guaranteed. Every snap, every decision, and every player's contribution will matter. The key question now is, how will the Falcons respond? Can they overcome the adversity of their losing streak and make a late-season push? Will Darnell Mooney's return spark the offense? And how much will the absence of Troy Anderson hurt the defense? Now it's your turn, Falcons fans. What do you think? Are you optimistic about Monday's game against the Raiders, or do you see this as another uphill battle? And what about the draft? Are there specific players or positions you think Atlanta should target? Now, Kirk Cousins, the man Atlanta brought in to stabilize the quarterback position, is under fire. After signing a blockbuster 4-year, $180 million deal this offseason, Cousins seemed to be the answer the Falcons needed. He got off to a hot start, leading the team to a 6-3 record and showing flashes of brilliance reminiscent of his prime. But as we sit here, staring at a 4-game losing streak, the question on everyone's mind is whether Cousins can turn it around, or if it's time to give rookie Michael Penix Jr. a shot. Cousins' struggles during this slump are undeniable. 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions over the past 4 games have brought his performance into sharp focus. That's not the kind of stat line you want to see from your $180 million quarterback. And to make matters worse, the pressure is mounting from all sides. The fans are restless, the media is asking hard questions, and even Cousins himself is starting to question his process. This week, Cousins admitted he's been reevaluating how he prepares for games. For a 13-year veteran, that's a big deal. He explained that while he trusts the process that's worked for him throughout his career, it's clear something needs to change. You'd be foolish to blindly stick to something when there's a fundamental you need to improve, Cousins said. It's a refreshingly honest take from a player who knows the stakes. He's not just relying on experience, he's listening to his coaches, his teammates, and even the younger quarterbacks in the room, like Penix and Nate Peterman. The Falcons coaching staff, led by head coach Raheem Morris, has stood by Cousins publicly. Morris has been adamant that Cousins gives Atlanta the best chance to win, even as the calls for Penix grow louder. You've got to believe and stay steady-handed with a guy you trust, Morris said this week. It's my job to back him at the highest level and help him play better. But let's be real, Falcons fans, the patience of this organization is being tested. Cousins is 36, coming off a major injury, and hasn't played up to his contract. Meanwhile, Penix, the number 8 overall pick in this year's draft, is waiting in the wings. So, what's the plan? According to Morris, it's not time for Penix yet. The Falcons drafted him with a long-term vision, and they're sticking to it, for now. That brings us to Monday night. The Falcons head to Las Vegas to face the Raiders in a game that could define their season. A win puts them right back in the NFC South race, especially with Tampa Bay facing a tough matchup against the Chargers. But a loss? That could be the final straw for Cousins in Atlanta. Let's not forget the added drama. Cousins will face the very team that cut ties with him before Atlanta scooped him up. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Cousins can bounce back and lead the Falcons to victory, it buys him more time. If he falters, the pressure to hand the keys to Penix will become impossible to ignore. The Falcons are still in playoff contention, but their margin for error is razor thin. They hold the tiebreaker over Tampa Bay, meaning a win this week could propel them back into first place in the division. But as Morris pointed out, these games are essentially playoff matchups now. Every decision, every play matters. Cousins seems to understand that. His willingness to tweak his process, whether it's how he studies film, approaches practice, or even listens to input from his younger teammates, is a step in the right direction. He's focused on getting back to the form that earned him the nickname Kirktober earlier this season, when he threw 10 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions in October. That version of Cousins gave Falcons fans hope. The version we've seen over the past month has left them frustrated. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson offered a glimmer of optimism, reminding Cousins of his earlier success. "Look at the production you've had," Robinson said. "There's been a ton of good football. We just need to clean up a few things." So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Can Kirk Cousins rediscover his rhythm and lead Atlanta to a much-needed win against the Raiders? Or is it time to see what Michael Penix Jr. can bring to the table? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be here to break down all the action after Monday night's game. Thanks for watching, and as always, rise up.